Gail Zuckerman, and this is Growing Older with Gusto. Each episode, I interview people who are growing older in an inspiring way. Whether you're 30, 60, or 80 years of age, these interviews will help to conquer your fear of aging. Please subscribe to our channel and check out our website at www.growingolderwithgusto.com. Hello, fellow super agers, and welcome to our first episode of Growing Older with Gusto in 2021. We are the podcast that brings you inspiring and wisdom-bearing guests, and I am Gail Zuckerman, your host. And today, on our first episode of 2021, we have somebody coming to us from across the pond in London by the name of Lynn Ruth Miller. And she is 87 years old. She is dubbed as the new Joan Rivers. She's been on America's Got Talent, Britain's Got Talent, and she's the winner of the Dave Leicester Comedy Festival. Her recent memoir book that just came out, which I've read and we'll talk about later on the show, is called Getting the Last Laugh, which she shares her journey to getting where she is today. So she has a wealth of experiences in her 87 years, and she's going to share that with us today. So let's bring her on. Good evening, Lynn Ruth Miller.
Hello, and thank you so much for having me. I'm delighted to be here today.
It's great to have you. It's great to have you. I know that you have also been described in print as the oldest living female comedian. And I wondered could you tell us a bit about how you got to where you are today?
Well, the reason I say that I'm the oldest living stand-up comedian is because anyone older than I am can't stand up. I got the thing I got, or so I think. After getting that shot, I got the virus shot, and everybody was over 80. And I looked at all these people. I said, "Oh my God, they're old." And then I thought, so am I. But the secret to what happened when I started comedy when I was 70, but the real message of that is that if you stumble on something that resonates with you, you mustn't let preconceived ideas of right, wrong, appropriate or not appropriate, or possibilities stop you. And that's pretty much what happened to me. I discovered stand-up comedy because I was going to write a story about it. But the one thing that isn't really very clear, because everyone here knows what stand-up comedy is, I had no idea that it was a career. I thought it was a complete scam. It was called the San Francisco Comedy College, and I thought that's a scam because I did not know that the comedy that I had heard on the Johnny Carson show had now become a career. So I was wrong. It wasn't a scam. It was a career by that time, but I didn't know it. But I stumbled on something that I could do very well. I don't believe, I believe talent is wonderful, but I don't think talent is everything. And I had a knack for telling jokes. That's it.
So let me ask you this. You talked to me about that certain things happen where you feel like you're getting out of your comfort zone. Can you tell us about a time when you were pleasantly surprised about something that happened to you when you got out of your quote comfort zone?
Well, I think that starting burlesque was was definitely out of my comfort zone. I am very conservative, and I've led a very conservative life, despite the fact that I don't talk like I'm conservative. But I mean, I've been a very proper little lady. And this young man said to me, "Well, why don't you add a song to your comedy?" And I said, "Well, because I can't sing." And he said, "Well, that'll make it funnier." And then he said, "Do you have a song you can sing?" Now, when you're in your 70s, your memory is terrible. So you don't want to learn a new song. You're thinking, "Well, I know already." And when I was 8 years old, I used to sing a Johnny Mercer song called The Strip Polka, which was it makes fun of burlesque. It's not a burlesque song at all, but she sings in it, "Take it off, take it off." And my favorite line in it is her name is Queenie, and he says, "Take her out when it's over, when the show is over. She's a peach when she's dressed." I always love that. Yeah, I love that. Anyway, so I learned that. I knew it already, and Ian made an accompaniment to it, and I thought, it's just a joke. It never occurred to me that I was a burlesque artist at all. And when I sang this song the first time, I sang it at a redneck blue collar bar where everybody that was there was playing pool. Nobody was paying any attention except my accountant. And I have never earned, and oh, I've never earned above the poverty level in America ever. So this guy was, he did my taxes for nothing because I loved his canary, honest, his canary. So he knew that I had absolutely nothing. So I'm busy taking off layers of clothes, lots of layers of clothes underneath, and throwing them around. And this guy put a $5 bill in my bra. And nobody had been in my bra for about 50 years by that time. So I thought, oh, I was 70, yeah, about 50 years. And so I thought, oh my God, I'm going to do it again. Now this goes on. I, I was doing this comedy thing, and I had been going to the Edinburgh Festival. So I called Hartley Kemp, who runs a venue there, and said, how would you like comedy from San Francisco? And he thought he was going to get Robin Williams, Margaret Cho. Instead, he got a bunch of amateurs. But because I brought the show, but that year they were featuring burlesque. So I said, okay, I happen to have a song. I'll end the thing with a song. And that is how I became a burlesque. I'm a burlesque performer.
Wow, that's fabulous. Fabulous. So tell us, if you had to tell us two important things about you, having known now that you do burlesque, what else should our listeners know and our viewers know about you? Just two things about yourself.
That I have an immense belief in the possible. I do not think that I can't, if I work hard at anything, I can make it happen. I am sure I can make it happen. That's the one thing. And the other thing is that I try very, very hard to do the work, to do the work. In other words, I don't expect instant success. I'm a plodder. You know the story of the tortoise and the hare.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the turtle. I'm the turtle. I'm a plodder.
And you
So
get there.
yeah, so those are two things, and those are the two things that got me where I am because I wasn't that good when I started, but I've been doing it now for 17 years.
That's it's amazing, amazing story. So, what's your secret sauce for living a fulfilling life? Because from our conversations, I know that you have boundless energy. So you've probably, if this is how you are at 87, I can only imagine what you were like at 50.
Pretty much the same, I think. Um, I always have a goal. I think the secret is I've made up my mind two things. I've made up my mind I'm going to live until I die. I'm going to live until I die. And the second thing is I never let my body I say I never let my body call the shots. But what I mean is I've never missed a gig. And believe me, I haven't always felt well. I never have a headache or a stomach ache. That doesn't stop me. I
I know I
never
read in the book. I know it's amazing. Yeah. You really always show up.
I always show up. And sometimes um, there's some pretty big catastrophes that happen along the way, but I get there,
Yeah.
show up, and that's about every commitment.
That's great. Let me ask you this. Did anybody ever give you advice earlier in life that you actually followed?
Well, nobody's actually been me, but I remember one beautiful bit of advice, and I don't really follow it, but it helps me. It was a lawyer, and his name was David, and he said, don't think about Lynn Ruth today. And this was when I was 30 and I was about to go to Stanford to get a master's degree in journalism. He said, don't think about Lynn Ruth Miller today. And I was thinking, no, I don't want to. She said, it's a mess today. He said, think where you want her to be 10 years from now. And my mantra is like William David Thoreau. He says, build your castle in the air and then do the steps that'll get you there. But the thing you have to understand, Gail, is the steps don't always take you to the castle you thought you were going to get to. Because I can assure you, when I entered Stanford University, I had not even the faintest notion I would be standing on stages all over the world telling dirty jokes. I had no idea. I mean, none. That wasn't the vision. but you start the steps to get you to your castle, and it will take you where you need to go.
So, why do you think you've lived to 87, given that you have good genetics?
I don't.
You don't. Well, you have. Well, what do you credit it to then?
Well, first place, I credit to not allowing myself to be sick. But that's in the book. I was very sick for a long time, and I absolutely refused to give in to it. And so I don't allow myself to be sick. But I believe that the most important thing is I have something to look forward to every day. I cannot imagine what it must be like. I was just talking to someone today that said, "Yeah, I go meet a lot of people." He said, meet a lot of people for coffee because it keeps me from going crazy." I wouldn't have time to meet a lot of people for coffee, aside from the fact that I don't want them breathing on me anyway. But I did get the vaccine. But yeah, I've got something to look forward to. I've got a show I've got to write. I've got another book I want to get out. I've got, and then of course I've got the immediate things. I've got a new show this Friday, and then another one on Sunday.
Yeah.
I've got something I'm working toward.
And what do you credit your energy to? Is a special way,
Well, that's it.
or is it having this purpose, this strong purpose in life that gives you the energy?
I'm not particularly, as a matter of fact, my mother used to call me a step and fetch it. I'm a slowpoke. I'm a slowpoke.
Oh, okay.
But no, it's this. I know I've got things I've got to do, and you don't have forever to do it. And I have learned that if you keep, what is it? Don't put off for tomorrow what you can do today. If you keep saying, if you keep saying, yes, I'm going to do that someday. Yes, I'm going to do that someday. You'll never do it. And at my age, my someday is a lot closer than I hope yours. My someday is pretty close. I don't have that much time to get done. And I always say that that's the elephant in the room. Will I still be as sharp as I am now when I'm 90? And I had another friend, I was talking to her last night from San Francisco. She said, "Listen, you'll never die." I have a friend who says everybody on earth is going to be dead except for Lynn Ruth Miller and Cher.
That's funny. That's funny. So, if you could talk to your 40-year-old self, what would
Hmm.
you tell her about life?
I would say stop being afraid. I would say stop thinking, "Oh my God, I'm 40 and I haven't accomplished a thing." You have. You've been building the foundation for the person you're going to be. I would say don't be afraid to try. I would say don't be afraid to fail because I don't believe there's such a thing as failure. I do not. I mean, remember I taught school and I would never fail my children because I never failed them because I don't believe in failure. I believe that everything we do is a step toward whom you're going to be. And I don't think you get there when you're 65. I think you get there when you die.
Interesting.
It's
Interesting.
That's what you're making. You're making a person.
So, let's turn our conversation to a topic you and I have talked about, ageism.
Ah,
Um, what are you doing to combat it?
I'm setting an example. And I've learned that there's no way I can change someone's preconceived notion. You have no idea how patronizing people are to me, really patronizing. And my favorite story of that is I was in an Indian restaurant, and I said to the man, "Where's the ladies' room?" And he said, "Well, it's downstairs." And I'm thinking, so what does he want me to do? Go here? So I said, "Well, I can I can manage to go downstairs." And I started going down the stairs, and this man was right beside me holding my elbow. And I thought, am I going to have to take him into the booth? What am I going to do? Is he going to leave me at the door? Why is he doing that? Very patronizing. The people look at me and think I don't know what I'm talking about. And what you do with that is you simply ignore it. You go past it because they aren't going to change their minds. But the people but there are always people that will get it, that will understand, that will take you for what you are. And your goal, especially because in my career I have to get booked to do my shows, you have to you have to find the people who see the value in what you're doing instead of making the people that don't see, instead of trying to change their minds. Do you
Got it.
understand?
Yes.
Don't bat your head against a closed door because you're not going to open it. But my hope is that it will open for you if I keep doing what I'm doing. Joan Rivers made it possible for me to get up on stage.
Right, right. So, what would you say, Lynn Ruth, are the most important things in life at your from your vantage point?
I think meaning. I think meaning. I've had so many people say to me, I just don't see the point of all this. I have a tremendous sense of meaning to my life. I think it's valuable. I think I'm doing something. And I don't think I'm doing something just for me, although I am extremely solipsistic. But I think I'm doing this for everyone. I'm entertaining. I'm making people happy. I have a purpose. I have a goal. Um, I'm not placid. I know a lot of people say that the secret of longevity is meditation and accepting. I don't accept anything, right? No, I don't accept it. I get in there and fix it, make it mine.
So, you're still feisty, and were you always like this?
No, no, comedy changed my life. Comedy, because remember, up until that time, people would say to me, "Oh, you're a wonderful writer," and I'd say, "Well, then why can't I get a job in a newspaper or a magazine or a scandal sheet
Yeah.
or a newsletter?" Oh, you're a marvelous teacher. Well, then why do they keep firing me? They kept firing me because I didn't grade anyone right. I gave them all A's. I know why they fired me, but everything I did, oh, you're marvelous, but I never got the establishment never thought so. And then all of a sudden, I did this comedy, and suddenly, I think you know from the book, I was very anorexic, and food issues were occupying my mind a lot, and then body issues because I was so sick. When I got into comedy, all those disappeared. I started going to restaurants because when you have an eating disorder, and anybody listening that has one knows, you never really lose it. You always know about food. For example, if we ever go out for dinner at Gale, I can tell you without even thinking how many calories are on your plate. And I am lousy at math, but I can, like that. Oh, that's 1,500. I can tell.
Oh,
I,
I know people who still count points, so that's okay.
they do.
Weight
They
Watcher points, yes.
so I don't want us to be disturbed. Um, so all those concerns went away. I then went into restaurants. I then had created a society, and the society are all comedians, which means they're all a minimum of 30 years younger, a minimum. They're starting. I'm seeing more older comedians now than when I began. When I began, most of them were in their 20s or early 30s. The awful lot of comedians, at least in London, are in their 50s, their
Interesting.
40s, 50s. But this is,
So I wanted to bring up your book, which I read, which was really powerful and amazing. And I want to show it. It's called Getting the Last Laugh. And it has a picture of you with your dog. And it was really an amazing book. And um, I wanted to quote something that you say at the end and get your impressions of what you think now, having written the book. You say, the zest for what I do and where I am is what I call happiness. For those of you who are lucky enough to make it this far, I am your future. Talk about that with our viewers.
it's that. It's this loving what you're doing. I see so many people. I live in a building. I always forget what it's called. Sheltered housing in England. It's independent living for seniors.
Mhm.
There are 66 flats here, and of those people in the 66 flats, I would say that 64 of them are just sitting and waiting to die. Nobody ever goes out after 6. I don't know what they're doing. Um, they're just waiting to die. And as I said to you, I'm living a life. So I think it's finding happiness, I believe, is homeostasis. In other words, I like where I am, homeostasis. I like where I am, I like where I'm going, and the belief I can get there. Um, and not doubting yourself. Comedy help me like who I am. I think that when I talk to young people, and that's anybody under 70, when I talk to young people, I get that they don't like themselves. They don't like the way they look. They don't like the way they think. They don't like what life is doing to them. And I always say, you take responsibility for your life, you take responsibility for yourself. And also, I think it was when I was 50, I suddenly realized the big revelation: I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. I never will be perfect. And I started working with the package. In other words, I've got loads of faults, but this is the package. It's the theory that life is like a card game. You take the hand you're dealt and you make it work. And
That's
I'm I'm I've played out my hand. Well, I haven't played out my hand. I'm still playing. Still playing.
well, you've got a lot of cards left, I know.
Well, we hope. But whatever, I'm going to play them until they're gone. I'm not going to just sit there and throw in my hand. I think
So,
maybe that
so where can our listeners and viewers go to buy Getting the Last Laugh?
they can go on Amazon. I'm on Amazon, and it's important that it's getting the last laugh with the picture of Lynn Ruth with the dog.
Right. There's not another one, is there?
Now, there's another one that was illegally published.
Oh,
It
oh
was,
my gosh.
and
Okay.
it's
So
called.
make sure it has the picture of Lynn Ruth Miller with her dog. And what about a website, or if somebody wants to contact you for
I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. My Instagram is Lynn Ruth Miller. My website is lynnruthmiller.com. That's another one, the lynnruthmiller.net. Somebody stole that website, and I didn't write that. What's on that one? It's nice.
okay.
It's a very nice thing about me, but it's not me. But lynnruthmiller.com. I have a special Facebook group which is called Lynn Ruth Miller at Home.
Okay.
You can see me the last Sunday of every month on at 8 o'clock London time, um, which is, I know it's noon California time, but that wouldn't be the same in Chicago. It'd be something different. And I do a Facebook Live event.
It'll be like 4 in the afternoon for us in
It is,
Chicago.
yeah.
Right.
Stories. I do stories, a couple songs, um, and jokes. But I think it's important. I sing,
I
and
know you do. Do you have a few bars you can sing for us?
oh, I can sing you my lockdown song. You want me to
That's
sing?
yes, this is
Heard
fabulous.
my
I've
lockdown
heard
song.
it. It's
Okay,
great.
here's
Take
my
it away.
lockdown song.
Take it away.
I wear masks of blue, face visors too. Then I am safe talking to you. The people I meet stand 6 feet apart. I can't smell their breath. I can't hear them fart. And I say to myself, what a wonderful world. I wear my yellow raincoat when I go on the town. I want to stay dry when they hose me down. I can't hug and kiss the people I meet. Now I don't have to brush my teeth, and I say to myself, what a wonderful world. I see groups of six out for a walk, spewing saliva as they talk. Boris gives us money so we can eat. It's not even enough to buy a sweet. And I say to myself, what a wonderful world. Because I'm 87, they say that I'm at risk. It's been 6 months since I've been kissed. The people. The people I meet are all on Zoom. I need something human in the room. And I say to myself, what a wonderful world. My mask is all soggy. It's covered with spit. The toilets are germy. I can't take it. And I say to myself, yeah, what a wonderful world. Yeah, what a wonderful world. That's 2020. And
Oh,
so I think it's a little bit of 2021 as
I,
well. Yeah.
yes, I think so. That was great. Thank you. Thank you. So, thank you for being with us today. It's been wonderful.
It's
And I
wonderful
know
talk. It was wonderful talking to you. And
Thank you.
I hope I made a few people happy with who they are.
I'm sure you have. I think you did a good job of that. So thanks for being on the show. Thank you everybody for listening to Growing Older with Gusto. I always enjoy hearing from our viewers and listeners. So drop a comment or send an email to growingolderwithgusto@gmail.com, or better yet, visit our website at www.growingolderwithgusto.com and subscribe. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.
Please subscribe to our channel and check out our website at www.growingolderwithgusto.com.